Let's have a quick look at the weld tool here in Cinema 4D. Now, the weld tool can weld several points, object points, or spline points into a single point. Select the points that you want to weld together, choose the weld tool, and click on a point to choose where the weld point will be placed. You'll see a yellow preview appear. If you click somewhere else instead of one of these points, the welded points will be placed at the center of the selection. Again, this would be marked by a yellow preview. Any polygons that become redundant will be deleted automatically. You can use the weld on a single selected object or with multiple selected objects. However, keep in mind that the points of different objects cannot be truly welded together. Okay, so let's see what all that means. Now, to see how this works, I'm going to come up here and grab one of my drawing tools. I'm going to grab the linear drawing tool. I'm going to middle mouse click to go into the top view. And I'm going to drop a point there and another point there. Select the spline, Command or Control and drag to duplicate it. And then I'm just going to move this over the second one just a little bit. Something like that. And over like that. I'm going to go back into this view and select both of them, hit O on the keyboard. Go ahead and go in here. We can see these. Go into point mode. Okay, so what I want to do is make sure that I have these 2 points selected. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to grab my rectangular selection tool and just rectangular select these. Let's go up here to the mesh menu and let's go to Commands, Create Tools, Weld. There we go. Right off the bat, when we click on here, or when we select the weld tool, we can see that we have an indicator of where these points are going to be welded together. So if I click right here in the middle, it brings these together, and these are now welded together. So let me just Command Z to get back. Now let's just do that one more time. So we've clicked on here, and it appears that these 2 points are connected, but in fact they are not. Number one, if we look in the Object Manager, we can see that we still have 2 objects, 2 splines. The other thing is that if we come out here, we can see that this is going from blue to white, and this one's going from white to blue. Now, we talked about in an earlier video that if it was one spline, indeed, it would be going from either blue to white all the way or from white to blue, because that's the way splines work in Cinema 4D. So really what we have going on here is we have 2 points that are sharing the same point in 3D space. They are not truly welded together. Okay, so let's just go ahead and get rid of these. And let's drop a cube in the scene. And we'll hit O on the keyboard. Let's go ahead and make that editable. Command or Control and drag to duplicate that object. Let's go ahead and pull this one out a little bit. And let's get in here where we can see these a little better. I'm going to go into point mode. I'm going to select both of these. Actually, let's go over here, grab the rectangular selection tool, and we will select these 2 points. Now if we go to Mesh, Create Tool, and grab the Weld tool, you can see that we already have our indicator here, and we can weld these 2 points. And again, they are only sharing the same point in 3D space. They're not actually connected. Command Z. Let's come over here and grab the Live Selection tool, and let's go into polygon mode here. If I select this polygon, and select this polygon. Again, go to Mesh, Create Tool, Weld. You can see that I can weld these 2 polygon faces together right there. All right. Command Z. Let's take a look at one more example. Let's get rid of this. Okay, so let's drop in another cube, and let's make it editable. I'm going to go to my polygon mode, and with my live selection selected, I'm going to select the top and just delete that. Now I'm going to go into point mode, and I'm going to select this point and shift select this point. Now if I come up to Mesh, Weld, right over here, Create Tools, I've got my indicator right here, and if I click here, it's going to weld these 2 points together. But in this case, since it's one object and not 2, we actually do have a weld here. So this is actually not only in the same space, but it's only 1 point now. Whereas the others with 2 objects, it was the same space, but there were 2 points in that space. So that's the basics of the weld tool here in Cinema 4D.